No,
Oh,
Yeah.
send it
you
down.
want me to pass it on?
Yeah.
Oh,
I get you. Oh,
what is
there
it?
you go.
What is it?
This. Did you get one? Yes.
Jeez.
Solar informational meeting this week.
Let's all rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let me call Lud first here. Hello, Phil. When the meeting started, you just did miss the pledge, but I figured you wouldn't mind.
Oh, I just said that.
All right. I'm putting you down. All right.
Hey, Lud.
Good morning.
Morning.
Do you have something to give?
Sure. Apologies for not making the first of the month. I'm still a little behind on schedule. So you have your report in front of you. For May, we had 218 911 calls, up a little bit from last year, over 199. Remained within all of our contracted times. You can see our treat no transport AMAs did not double. What doubled was the fact that our physician, Dr. Aguilera, now requires documentation of any time we go on a lift assist and we don't transport the person, et cetera. He wants that documented, he wants an assessment done, et cetera. So you will see that a little bit more frequently. It's not that the volume is necessarily doubling, it's just that there's now a record being captured of that, whereas we didn't do that before. Classes, 9 classes reaching 39 students, not including Sean's EMT courses in the high school. And then 2 Intercept Mutual Aid, 6 public relations events. Of our 218 911 calls, you can see on the second page that 147 of them came to Paris Hospital, with the second highest transport to Union at 11. Your top numbers up there go into your treat no transports. Any questions on the report? And then I have a guest with me here today. Many of you are familiar. Jesse Lusader, longtime paramedic, has also been the sheriff's deputy and police officer here in the county, has been named interim EMS manager. He's going to trial the position. I know he's going to love it, all the things that come with it. And you guys will begin to see Jesse at our meetings. So, any questions for me? We did have a,
Jesse's no good guy. I like Jesse.
he's no good,
Right
is
back
that
at
what
you,
you said?
Dano.
Yeah,
Right back at you.
I work with him.
We did have a deer versus ambulance strike Saturday night up around Allerton. Patient was successfully transferred into one of our second ambulances, and the transport continued. No injuries to patients or staff, but we are working through a myriad of truck issues. No air conditioner in one, no deer hit in another, shocks on the back of another. So
It's fine.
it's all fine. They knew Jesse was going to be manager, so had to
Yeah.
give him a run for his
They're
money.
pretty tough on vehicles.
You have no idea.
I just noticed the other, I don't know whether it was last Monday or Wednesday. I can't remember, maybe it was the week before. An ambulance went through the intersection without braking. I mean, there was the
Yeah.
chase car to start with, or whatever the truck is, went through. And about 15-20 seconds later, the ambulance went through Route 136 full bore. Never slowed, never anything. The hair on everybody's head, or back of our neck stood up.
The
Or lights and sirens on.
activated.
Yes,
Okay.
but
good thing.
still,
They
Yeah,
should slow down.
I-
Should
I
slow
mean,
down.
it was,
Going a pretty good clip.
oh yeah, I mean, it wasn't 80 or anything, but I bet
Sure.
it was 55 or
Well,
60.
still should be hitting the brakes.
They
a
should
little
hit the
bit.
brakes, you are correct. It
It
is
just-
long.
Due regard.
And we see that all the time.
Yeah,
Cars, trucks, semis go through there like there's nothing going on.
they do that by Templeton where that 4 or 5 stop signs are.
Yeah.
Not so much the ambulance, but people, they shoot right through both stop signs, never slow down a bit.
I just,
I know.
Up there, you can see all around you pretty good, but still, you were there, right?
yeah, well,
Well, you can't see up there.
the building
If
on
you're
the
coming from the east,
southeast
you
corner.
can't see
Right.
until you're to the stop. Because the old gas station restaurant's there, you can't see
Nothing
anything for a
happened.
long ways. And we're both usually coming from that
See
direction.
that, maybe what's his name could sit out there once in a while and give him a ticket, Dolan. Give him a ticket, maybe word gets out. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? Did you have anything else you wanted to cover?
Sam did a good job.
Congratulations, Jesse.
Thank you
Good luck
very
to
much.
you from all
Appreciate
of
that.
us.
Sam does a good job too, sorry.
Try.
All right. Andy? We haven't got a whole lot going on today, but
No. I need to get with Ray and go up and take a look at that and see what he's, I think more than anything, it's just, I don't know that, all those roofs, we're talking about the roof over the entrance, which would be on the west side, that
oh, it's
it's,
the west, I thought it was the south, but that's okay.
it's the west that never gets used. Isn't it the west? One of
Right, that's where the old bathroom entrance. You're
Yeah.
talking about the courthouse?
Yeah,
Yeah.
courthouse, sorry. And he sent pictures of it, if you want to pass it around, but it probably needs some attention. I don't think it's leaking. I think more than anything, it's just damp down there and needs to be looked at. Is that the one that has, the old lights are stuck down in there?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Maybe
those need to
Augie
be
can
pitched.
tell you
Yeah, that's-
better than I can.
Yeah, that's the south side.
Is it the south?
South side has
Is-
like never been used. The west side was where the old
West side,
bathroom.
yeah.
People used to come in and out there.
There's a soda machine there.
The south
Yeah.
was never
Oh,
used.
we
Never
got that
used,
metal
right.
detector, if you're gonna use that.
Right, the south side you're talking about.
We're not gonna use that entrance.
Okay.
That's
So
what I'm
you think
thinking.
We just
That'll
don't
be
want it to deteriorate to the
Yeah.
point where it causes a lot of
I
problems.
see, okay.
That's why Ray, I think, brought it up.
You can look at it, pass it around if you want.
I'll leave it up.
I've got, that's where I store a lot of records in that room, and I'm not for sure how or when, but it seems like when we had the roofers, just people in and out, looking around,
Just go up.
moving
Screwed it up.
those lights around. One of my shelving units fell over, I just found out, so when you go in there and it looks like a mess, I haven't had time to get it straightened up, but boxes have fallen on the floor, so
Roll down a little
Okay.
bit.
I don't know what,
Also, on building and grounds, we have a meeting this Thursday with CORE at 11 o'clock right here. Okay. Dan, do you have any cat stories or anything?
No, not really. Stopped out shelter last week. Talked to Andrew, he still has 40 dogs, I think.
Still?
She's getting another litter of pups somebody's gonna drop off. Yeah. Process moving to the Bethesda building, she's kinda slow on that. Does have adoption day coming up at the American Legion. I forget what day it is, but she's gonna have adoption day there, so. Other than that, doing all right, so. Did you hear anything, Carl?
I stopped by there Saturday morning and Linda was there, but there was 3 volunteers
Mhm.
and there were some people that just, in the last 6 months moved from North Carolina.
Yeah,
And they come in every Saturday morning and walk dogs and help out.
yeah. There used to be a group come out of Chicago that took dogs back. I don't know if they still do that or not.
Recently, not so
That's what I
much.
saw, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to come down, they take 1 or 2 dogs back with them.
They haven't been down recently.
What's happening with Dyke Davis's
Pardon?
old What's happening with Dyke Davis's old office? See a lot
Got
of
a new
activity.
veterinarian, it's a veterinarian clinic.
Is it still?
I forget the name of it.
There's a lady from,
Clyde's.
vet from Charleston,
Oh,
that
really?
comes over and she's there on Fridays and Saturdays.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
well, that's good.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Other than that, everything's all right.
Russ?
No.
Carl?
I passed out letters that I received through the mail. The APA, the solar company that was at our meetings recently, they are holding a community informational meeting this Thursday from 4 to 8 o'clock. And I believe it's at Evelyn Gym.
Oh, gee.
And this is related to the project, is it?
Right.
This is part of their,
If you can read down through there, they sent letters to people in the area. And obviously, it's right across the road from us.
That's a big one out east of town,
Correct.
2,000 acres. Close.
They've got that much leased.
Okay.
The proposal is roughly 1,500 acres
Mhm.
of actual panels, but they're having an informational meeting for the public to come in, to explain their project, answer any questions.
Have they got permission to hook onto the power line?
Come to the meeting, you'll ask them that question.
Oh, okay.
and
That was
I'm
the
sure they
problem.
do, or they wouldn't.
I was gonna say,
they're not gonna put up all that money if they don't have.
I heard they're gonna hook in that power line, it comes down the Indiana line.
I know, but they've got more than one way to get in there.
Okay, I didn't know.
Just because one guy says no doesn't mean that.
I didn't know, that's what I heard. So You mentioned that, I thought.
Right.
Yeah.
There's something else about that. Oh, battery storage. Is that, the ordinance, the battery storage ordinance?
Any battery storage that they're gonna do as part of their program is included in the ordinance.
I thought we had to have a separate one.
No, no.
Eventually we do. For
Well-
The
this
reason we
spring-
had to,
Just battery storage.
the second
just
reason
that.
we had to redo the current solar ordinance was to incorporate battery.
So
So if battery is included in it, then that ordinance
Got it.
takes it.
we need to get something going on that.
We do that and wind, and he's working on it.
Okay,
And
that
our
was my
thought
question.
was that we would do a hearing with that at the same time, depending on the timing, at the same time as we do a hearing on their application,
Okay,
so that he was coming down once.
all right, all right.
I asked Jeff about the decommission, which is very, it's not really mentioned in the, whatever it is,
In the ordinance.
in the ordinance, but he said it would be in a contract. True, I still think they need to be a little more specific on decommissioning. And the original that we talked about didn't have anything about it.
They have to provide a decommissioning plan
In the
in the
application.
application.
Okay.
And
That
As
is-
long as the summer, I agree.
They
it
have
should
to get that decommissioning plan and we have to agree to it.
Okay.
And we're involved in it and, you know, that's part of the process. If
That
we
was
don't
my
agree
main,
to it, then,
that was my main concern.
Right.
we would have probably a consultant take a look at their plan, who's professional,
Okay.
and then comment on it. Okay? So it could be up to standards. Cause I imagine, like everything else, technology is just
Oh, I know that.
just
yeah.
moving
True.
forward and
Right.
it's hard to keep up with it.
I was concerned about that on the original.
Well, anything else, Carl? Lisa?
So are they really thinking it's gonna take 4 hours, or they're available for 4 hours?
I don't know.
Long time.
I don't, of course, they probably don't know what to expect, but, you know, some of these projects, you know, like the one, the CO2 over in, the whole gym was full
Yeah,
at
that's
New
right.
Goshen.
Yeah.
And some, you know, so I haven't talked to them, so I don't know, but
I just wondered, because I don't know that I can get off work in time to be there at 4, but I
well,
will be there later.
I figured, well, I can call, I mean, I know and I could call and find out, you know, but I have a feeling they'll just start the presentation and never how long it takes, and
Okay.
maybe they'll stick around if someone shows up later to answer any questions. I don't know what they've got planned.
That's kind of early to start, was especially during the week when people are working and so forth.
Yeah, imagine.
Yeah.
It may be that it's like the power company, when they went through, they had a big deal over in Kansas on it, you know, the one down south. And what they did was, a group came in, and if they got 4 or 5 people, they would take them through a maze and explain the whole project. And they displayed. So it was a constant thing, as people came in, they took care of them,
Yeah,
and they gave them the information.
I'll call him and see if I can find out and pass it on.
That may be what we're dealing with here.
Right.
And that way, you could get a full presentation at 6 o'clock as well
Right.
as 4 o'clock.
What was the one they had over here in this room, had a whole thing, had about 50
That
people.
was the wind farm.
Yeah, about 50 people there on that.
Right, right. And then I know you've been bringing up about a solar farm out here by Harrington's.
40 acres.
Yes.
40
Somewhere
acres, yeah.
Yes,
they filed a lease for 40 acres.
Yeah,
and that's gonna be a community deal.
I see him once in a while coughing, he still talks, said it takes about 6 months to get the application in, but he was still talking about it out there by Harrington.
It's a 5 kilowatt
Yeah.
deal.
They've actually filed a lease.
Okay, they've actually filed an application now, or,
No.
no, okay,
The lease with the landowner.
I see, okay. So you do that before the application, okay,
And they can do that years before. In this case, it doesn't sound like it would be, they can do years before.
okay.
And it's for community involvement, as I understand. In other words, you can buy a share into it and
No,
you
that-
reap benefits from it. Go ahead, you were different.
No, I have not, but that makes me think about the one in Kansas.
Right,
Was there ever any publicity or anything about that? The difference in community versus larger scale?
I don't believe so.
I don't think it is either.
What's next, Lisa?
I've had a busy week. And went to the health board meeting, which was pretty relatively uneventful. We do have a new director of the dental clinic, but she was already a long-term employee, so I think that'll be fine. What I found interesting and reassuring is their dental insurance billing is going well. And for last month, they had $122,000 in insurance payments. That's,
Good heavens.
yeah, that's that. After they get going a little longer, I wanna ask him, so how close does that make it to self-supporting? So I just found that really reassuring because they have struggled with getting their insurance billing software up and running smoothly,
And
so.
there's such a need for the dental.
Oh my gosh, there is, yeah. And having that second dentist, even just the 1 day a week, so that they're offering 5 days, it's just been a gift to the whole area, not just Edgar County. Nancy and she had hired Katie Mooningham as a part-time employee to help her with Paycom. And you know, my vision has always been that as Nancy needed her less or on a seasonal basis, there will be others that need her, whether it's folding and stuffing tax forms or helping do some of the more straightforward calculations for supervisor assessments. But at any rate, Nancy and Katie and I met with Jenna Garrick, who is our Paycom rep. And she comes once or twice a year. And we focused this time, she had some things she wanted to talk about, so we could look at benchmarks and how some different aspects of Paycom and user use of Paycom is going. And she'll be sharing that at the next supervisor department head meeting. But what Nancy was wanting to focus on as well was what courses are available that we are already paying for in Paycom that can help us lower our liability insurance, liability is not the right word, tort insurance cost. And then also including in that, looking at state mandated courses that are available. So unfortunately, we were knee deep in this when the power went out. So I haven't had a chance to read Jenna's summary, but we're focused now is on improving efficiency for Nancy and Katie and for managers and for staff. So when she speaks at our department head meetings, that's what she's gonna focus on. So that's good, that's a sign of maturity in our use. You know, we're not trying to just get through every other week, we're able to move on. I was asked to go to a solar meeting in St. Bernice, which was very interesting. They asked for my knowledge, my information, and I already know that there are so many differences between Illinois and Indiana and how state and local government work and the requirements. So there's another one, not only the one down at Libertyville, also one up at St. Bernice, and they've already gotten leases. There's one really big landowner down there that, because they got that lease, then they've been moving forward.
Was the meeting put on by the county or by the
No,
power company?
neither. It was
Just-
put on by some concerned citizens.
Well,
And I was not really surprised that somebody from Apex had said they'd be there and then they weren't. So, I don't know, I gave them some food for thought and some things to check on, but there are just so many differences between us and them. And I said, you know, here's our ordinance, if that gives you food for thought, but it's apples to oranges. So,
Over there.
I was glad I went, but it was interesting. And I think that's all I have at the moment.
How about HRC director? It's in the paper, the guy
Yeah.
moving.
I don't know anything other than
It's
that.
in the paper, an article about HRC, they hired somebody.
Yeah, sounds very qualified. I've been working with Jonathan also on some billing problems. So it's kind of nice when my two worlds can collide. So,
I had a call this weekend from a concerned person down in the Providence area. You know, we've off and on have been getting some calls about the methane wells down there.
Yeah,
There's several of them on the Illinois side that are operating, burning off the methane. But he'd read in the paper about the ordinance that we had for the solar and wanted to know if we needed to get one for the methane. I said, well, I don't know.
don't know anything about methane, I mean, what do you know about it?
So I told him I'd look into it and I'm gonna, at the state level, find out something if there's anything that needs to be done. His concern, one of the concerns was that here they come over in Illinois, but they tried to do this because that old coal mine, most of it was in Indiana. And he said Indiana won't let them put these methane wells out to burn off the gas.
It may produce CO2, which possibility, if you burn it as a waste product,
Yeah, so.
yeah. Could
I told him I'd
CO,
try to see if I
carbon
could find out some information on it. And, you know, that one time, you know, I did talk to a guy that was doing that work, and he assured me that they went through the state and everything, but maybe I need to do some follow-up,
Probably
make
should be
sure that
checked.
everything was
Yeah.
done properly.
Just a suggestion, you guys might get with Lisa and talk to her attorney. He would probably
Yeah,
know
that's
right
true.
off the bat,
Whether
as
they-
opposed to you hunting all over Hell's Half Acre.
Right,
Don't you think?
yeah,
yeah,
You know, he go,
Yeah.
you could just ask him, what's with methane, and he,
right.
Well,
well,
they should be checking the waste product when they burn it off to see what it produces. I mean,
Someone should
Yeah,
be,
somebody
but-
should be,
But we
yeah.
need to look into it, because, you know,
Should be,
we could add that to your list.
I could do that, I could smell it.
After you feed the cats, you go smell the
I
methane.
could put a cat out there, see if it survives. A hairless cat.
We get out of control.
You have more patience than I do.
it's taken years. Augie, you wanna explain anything going on with you? We need to let them know, cause we're gonna start, we don't have to get into the weeds, but about tax bills, we're not quite there yet, so.
Yeah, I was out last week and we have a few levies that we need to look at a little farther into regarding truth and taxation. Just a handful, and then I think we will be ready to finish up on my side, and hopefully within the next 2 or 3 days, end of the week, I'll be able to basically shift it over to the treasurer's office.
Which then, you know, we're gonna have to, I'll talk to Philip, and see what kind of options we have to help Don. Because it's not gonna be a smooth sail.
So,
You know,
who's doing the work for him? The secretary?
I'm sure they are.
He's got a deputy,
Oh, okay.
okay,
Put a little pressure on him.
but we have other resources with the county.
Okay.
We need to do it right, whatever we do. And so I think talking to Philip would be a logical step to make sure that everything goes like it should go. Just to get an idea, some of the other counties, the other county where I have property over by Springfield, Menard County, is just now gonna send out the tax bills. So, I mean, we're not, everybody got held up by the Department of Revenue this year, for whatever reason. Yes, sir.
Probably have to do a closed session, but any more about the high school and how much we owe them. Anybody doing any work on that?
Yes, that's being handled by the attorneys,
Who?
by the attorneys.
Okay.
And as far as I know, we don't owe them anything.
I don't see how,
Well, it wasn't collected, but there is a mechanism that exists with the state for them to recover shortfalls of revenue.
It wasn't collected? Don't they tell us how much their entity needs for a levy?
Yes, it goes into a formula. But you've gotta remember that if an entity asks for 400,000,
Right,
they
that
need.
doesn't mean, it's a percentage, they
Right.
don't get the exact
Right, I'm
right.
sorry, so, but there is a mechanism that they can then turn around and file with the state to make up that difference, especially if it's bond issue. Okay? Does that make sense?
well, why did they wait so long? Why did they wait so long? Back to 2018,
Right.
that, something's wrong somewhere.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but the attorneys are handling
That
it,
blows my
and
mind.
Augie, his office has been cooperating completely with
Yeah,
them
put a little
since the
pressure.
very beginning,
Yeah,
regardless of what
Still
people
hard
might
to do.
say, so. Okay? So we'll keep you up to date if there's anything you need to know about that. Do we need a closed session for anything? Go, yes, please.
Ram Clinic this Saturday and Sunday at the high school. It's the remote area medical volunteer clinic. They anticipate in the thousands to come. There's several people. This is free medical, free dental, and free vision care. And people follow this group around to get their health care. They're allowed to begin camping on Friday. I know we've had a public safety meeting, we've asked for police and sheriff patrol presence, etc. My concern just, and Jill's aware, is the heat, and making sure that folks are, because they do not have any sort of restroom facility, heat, food or water, hydration, out there while they're camping, etc. So just as an FYI, I will be there, I will be volunteering, the EMS will be out, but
Was that the thing through Longview Bank?
yes, Longview Bank. And then the next month, RAM will be in Terre Haute, so my guess is whatever they do with the folks this month, they'll tell them that they can follow up over there next month.
When we used to do stuff like that, we'd get the guard or the Army Reserve to bring in tanks of fresh water?
All I saw was on the article, it was either the article at the paper road or a flyer that they put out that they told the folks that if they were camping to make sure that they had plenty of nutrition and hydration because it would not be supplied. So, yeah,
Well,
You say it's
it's not our
Saturday.
thing.
it's not, it is a county thing, you know, it is happening in the county, it is expected to bring in a increased volume of people. So I just wanted you to be aware that, you know, public safety may be taxed this weekend a little bit with some extra.
That's Saturday.
It's Saturday and Sunday. I got my email this weekend and it says that my committal time is 04:30 to 19:30, Saturday and Sunday. Well, they don't forgot old girl was old here, but it is, the clinic itself opens at 6 AM and it's a first come, first serve. I believe on Sunday it ends at 3, if I remember
I
the
assume they're
time.
having it in the gym.
It is inside, yep,
Yeah.
it is inside.
But ramifications start on Friday.
They do, cause they're told that they can begin setting up camp on Friday. And,
Where are they anticipating them setting up camp?
in the parking lot of the high school.
Man, that'd be a
I assume the
toasty.
city, all the city people are aware of it.
They are,
Right.
Chief Rogers and Chief Deputy both said that they were gonna be patrolling. And,
Okay.
but I just wanted you guys aware from it'll be a little bit of a learning curve for all of us, cause we've
Right.
not had this
Yeah.
before.
So if we see a tent on the courthouse lawn,
It's like that meeting here, Avon Gym is not air conditioned. It's not air conditioned. It's a little warm in there.
That helps keep the population,
Huh?
that helps keep the meeting population out.
Yeah.
anything else hanging fire? Yes.
How about the landscaping around the courthouse? Is that still in the works?
We're working on that
Okay,
right
good.
now. I got Dustin, I had a meeting
Just wondered.
and I said, give me
People
some
asked about
ideas.
it. My coffee buddies asked about it. I just wondered.
Oh, you need to take
Do they want to
care of
volunteer?
They can volunteer.
No. They don't want to volunteer for anything.
it. They just wanna,
Oh,
never
trouble.
mind.
They
All right.
want to get on me.
Phil, do you have anything, sir?
Nope, just listening to all the fun.
Okay. All right, well, entertain a motion to adjourn. Andy moves. Russ seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. We're adjourned. See you.
See you later. See you later.